Hey guys, Puzzle Boy here, coming at you with a couple of deck replays that I wanted to show off using my Evil Eye deck. I did take my Evil Eye deck that I profiled yesterday to locals, and I ended up topping. I ended up going 4-1 out of 5 rounds. So it was pretty exciting. I essentially only lost the last round to time. The deck is really explosive, and I just kind of wanted to show that off. So let's just get to some replays so I can explain the deck a little bit better. Keep in mind that the deck that I'm currently playing here, that I'm showing on the replay, I don't believe is the deck that I profiled. But still, I wanted to show off a couple of dual replays. So the deck essentially has a lot of fantastic one-card starters. The deck is a hard, kind of like a going first deck, so please keep that in mind. Here, I was maining Valor because there was a lot of trap tricks, but essentially, one of the best cards that Evil Eye got was actually this card, Evil Eyes Unleashed, which is, I went over it in the profile. It's a fantastic card. Essentially, it lets you dump your graveyard by sending a spell, an equip spell, or a spell in general, that essentially searches your entire deck for a starter and a monster that is an extender, and that lets you link summon during your opponent's turn if you don't already have it in hand. So this card just allows you to do so much, especially during your opponent's turn. It also allows you to essentially equip Selene from your graveyard to that monster. So it also bypasses Selene's hard once per turn effect. So it's just really, really good. And obviously you have the main key player, which is Cerzio. Cerzio is a quick effect pop while it has Selene. It also searches. Here, this is something that I did a lot. Remember, Basiltris has an effect that if you control an Evil Eye monster and this card is in your hand or in your graveyard, you can quick effect special summon this card. So you usually want to dump this with Evil Eyes Unleash unless you already opened it, because then it doesn't really matter. Then you would open the other, then you would send the other Grave Extender. But see, this card is really important for this deck, and I did this a lot during the tournament. A lot of people would look to imperm this or look to interact with this card. And I would very much always normal summon Cerzio, Chainlink 2. I would special summon Basiltris either from my hand or from my graveyard, allowing it to be chain blocked by Ash or Valor or anything like that. I mean, Ash is the most strongest hand trap in the game right now. So Cerzio, you really want it to kind of pop off, but even if it doesn't go off and it gets impermed or Ash, it's not the end of the world, because you can still sit pretty with Eye of Selene equipped to it, plus hopefully a Basiltris in your graveyard, or you can even link it off to kind of pop off from there, which you guys will be seeing here. So I am playing against Trap Tricks. Essentially, right here, like I stated before, Evil Eyes Unleashed helps you set up your graveyard. Gorgiano says that if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it and then discard an Evil Eye card to add an Evil Eye spell or trap card. So it's another starter in a way to either get your Paradolia, your Cerzio, or your Evil Eyes Unleashed. So you're always going to, once you activate Evil Eyes Unleashed, you're always going to want to dump a Grave Extender, meaning either Basiltris or Catabolas. I'm always going to butcher that. And then you're always going to want to search out your Evil Eye Selene, so then you're able to dump your Selene through Gorgonio's effect to search any spell or trap card you want, which is usually I search out my Evil Eye of Retribution just in case my opponent has Evenly or something like a Raigeki or something like that. Because Evil Eye of Selene always lets you recur itself by banishing a spell or trap in your graveyard to reset it, and obviously pay 1,000 life points. So it's just really, really good. You really don't lose out on any advantage here. So here, this essentially is the classic play where you go Deus Machina's X, you set your Selene, and I activate it with Cerzio. I activate Cerzio's effect to kind of pop, and yeah, I actually didn't think here that if I did do that, I was kind of looking for some damage, because I mostly just am thinking about winning the game, right? So I'm looking for some damage. But remember, Cerzio and the big Evil-like monsters have maintenance's effect, that the next time you, if you use that effect in the next standby phase, you have to pay the maintenance cost. So Cerzio has the effect that if you use its quick effect pop effect, you have to use the effect during the standby phase. It is an activated effect, so that means you do pay life points for Selene. Keep that in mind. But you have to pop a card you control. So keep that in mind. And no, you cannot target itself to pop itself because it's protected by Selene, because Selene only protects from opponents' effects. So here my opponent kind of harpies. He kind of opened up everything, honestly. Like he opened up hard going second and he went first. So yeah, like my opponent is just going ham. But honestly, I'm not really that scared because I mean I have two extenders in my hand. So really not scared, and I draw into a really good card that just helps me kind of keep popping off here. So I'm assuming he's gonna bottomless or uh, floodgate. Yeah, don't really care much for it. I just quick effect, special summon my Basiltrist. I get another Retribution because it's good against Trap Tricks. Gorgiano, I dump Celine to search Paradolia. Paradolia is probably going to let me either get an Extender or another Searcher with Cerzio. I opted to go with the Extender. Um, and honestly, at this point, I know I have the game. I'm really not scared at all. So I just end up going for Zerzio, I'm sorry, with a Z. And Zerzio's maintenance effect, essentially what he can do is that he can quick effect pop a card. And if he was link summoned using a monster that has 2600 or more attack, he can make a double attack. So it facilitates OTK, especially equipped with Gorgonio. Also, his maintenance cost is that once per turn during the standby phase, like during the next standby phase that you activated his pop effect, you have to negate the effect of one monster that this card currently points to. So the link arrows really do matter. So keep that in mind. And essentially, also keep in mind that during the standby phase, it is an activated effect, so you still pay cost for Celine, just in case. Time is kind of annoying with this deck. You really kind of have to go hard for the hard OTK. So here, I'm going first. I opened up fairly well. I opened up an extender, which is Evil Eyes Unleashed. I don't really care about anything else. This card is fantastic. Gorgoneo is another really good card. You always want to try to keep one in hand if you possibly can because it lets you facilitate OTKs just a lot faster. So you usually always want to send a Gorgoneo from your deck to your hand and a Basiltrist to kind of chain block. You add Celine. You're essentially going through the motions at this part. If I open up a Gorgoneo, I always try to send the Aya Celine because Gorgoneo, again, just facilitates that OTK. Your life points get really low using this deck, and your opponent's life points are usually really high. So you really attack for like big damages. So essentially having a 5k Zerziel on the board that can attack twice, that's usually game more often than not. Paradolia, get my second extender, which is Zerziel. I'm basically have free reign here. My opponent has evenly matched, which I'm not scared of because I always search out the Evil Eye of Retribution. And here I'm just kind of going through the same combo line. You're essentially sitting here. By the end of the board, I'll show you guys. But yeah, you equip it to Cerzio. My opponent activates Heavenly Prison. Whatever, I pop it. Not a big deal. I don't know why I popped it because in the end of the day, like I kind of have to pop a card I control, but I'll more than likely pop Paradolia, obviously. Don't know why I did it. I guess I just didn't want him to have it on the board. But yeah, oh well. Right here, you're basically sitting on one interruption, being Cerzio, which is a quick effect pop for my opponent if he special summons a special summon monster. I have Deus Ex, Divisor King Deus Machinex. This card is awesome. It gives me 2 interruptions, so it says once per chain when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect. Monster your opponent controls, yeah. Quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, and if you do, attach that opponent's monster to this card. So essentially, it doesn't negate, but it does act as an annoyance. So this is just really, really good in my opinion. Essentially, I can do this twice. And the reason why I do this is because my attached monsters, being Basiltrist, does not get banished if obviously it gets detached as an effect. So it goes to the graveyard, meaning that if my opponent activates any type of effect, I can just use Machinex, detaching Basiltrist, and then special summon Basiltrist and go for a quick link if I wanted to. So right here, I'm sitting on 2 interruptions plus 3, which is Evil Eye of Retribution. So I would say I'm pretty happy about that, to be completely honest with you. Cerzio effect, popping Paradolia, Celine activates. So he's already at 26, meaning that if I wanted to link summon using Basiltrist, I can go straight into Cerzio and he would get his 2 battle phase attacks. So my opponent decides to evenly match me. Obviously, I'm not scared. I have Evil Eye Retribution. My Sergio obviously just gets bigger. He ends up chaining Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I'm not scared. I decide here to chain to Putka to absorb it because I don't want him to. If he doesn't have another Trap Tricks monster, well, he can't really do anything else at that point. He can't link it off, but he does have Arachnocampa, which is kind of annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. He goes Sarah, and I just straight up quick effect pop Cerzio, um, and he vanishes to bring Sarah back, and then I just quick effect Link here into Serziel. Again, keep in mind your Link arrows. The reason why I summoned this was because I figured I was going to go for the effect negation one, which is Gorgon, but I ended up going for Serziel to get this pop off. So just keep that in mind. In the end of the day, I do have to negate Machinex, but I still have a 3k beater. So I'm not entirely too scared. Once I link it off, obviously Unleashed activates in the graveyard, being Chain Link 1, to equip to Zerziel immediately. So my opponent just sets 1, and it's basically the game here. I quick effect, pop his effect, and then I have to negate my thing, but it's not a problem because I have Gorgoneo. I was going to go for the kill anyway. So that's it with Trap Tricks. Let's see some Cash gameplay. So, with Cash, I mean, I think Cash is a really good matchup for my deck as long as I don't banish, a lot of things. Not a lot of things, but a couple of things. So I go first. I obviously open up a starter. This is the build that I was running at locals, the one that I profiled, and honestly, it's my favorite build. So I end up getting more starters. Like I basically opened up full combo. Like if any one of your starters is full combo, my opponent decides to go in special summon Tier Element Kashtira, not a big deal. Sends 3. None of these bother me. Activate Unleash, just kind of rinsing and repeating, sending Basilisk and a Gorgoneo. I search out the Gorgoneo because I can just dump it with the other Gorgoneo. And I search another level 3 extender with Serziel because I can search out Retribution, which I end up doing. I end up dumping Celine and keeping the Gorgoneo in hand just to facilitate an OTK need be. I use Basilisk to dump a useless Evil Eye, get my Deus King Machinex, Divisor, whatever, activate it on Sergio. Sergio effect to pop, and I just activate Gorgoneo. Keep in mind, this is turn 1, and guys, I'm sitting on a 3600 attack, untargetable, can't be destroyed by card effects, monster. I'm sitting on this interruption. I'm sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions on turn 1. So I am sitting extremely comfortably right now. So I'm not scared. I don't really do anything here. I didn't go for the tier limit pop just because, again, I didn't really get scared and I didn't really have anything I wanted to pop during the standby phase anyway, so I just kind of let it go through. What was he going to do? If he normal summoned or special summoned Fenrir, I was going to pop it immediately. So he ends up activating Therosis or whatever it's called, targeting Kashtira. I quick effect pop Cersei, use Cerzio's effect to pop tier element, so then this doesn't resolve. So that's already 1 interruption that I used. He's at 36 currently. He goes for Birth. Obviously, I don't want that because he has Unicorn Banish, so I Evil Eye of Retribution that. So that's my second interruption, and I still haven't used Machinex. He normal summons Rise Heart. I let it go through because what's he going to do? But I still absorb it because I don't want any shenanigans. And I still have the Imperm. Keep that in mind. So I have a Sergio that's at 5600. Standby phase, I do have to use its effect to pop something. So I end up popping the Celine. The reason why I end up popping Celine because I could just automatically reset it if I wanted to by banishing the Retribution. Not a big deal. But I just end up going for the kill here. And that's as simple as that, and that's a lot. That's how my matches usually went at locals. Let's go to another game facing Cash. So here I kind of didn't dead draw here, but this is kind of an unfortunate hand because I only run 1 copy of Catoplas, whatever. One of these familiars, okay. But thankfully I opened up Unleash and I opened up Prosperity. If Evil Eyes Unleashed gets ashed, I really do not care just because of the fact that you can easily just you already have what you want in the graveyard because it sends it as cost, so it doesn't really matter. So let's just go main phase. My opponent opened up 2 hand traps, which is pretty good. I believe he ashes my Pot of Prosperity. Kind of suck, but not the end of the world because that means I'm basically have free reign right now. I go through my standard lineup, dumping Basiltris and Gorgoneo effect, dump the Grave Extender because, well, its effect happens in Grave, so you want to dump it in the Grave. So it's never a bad thing, and I still get to my starter no matter what. This is just to show you guys how good it really is. Paradolia, get Cerzio effect, search for, I can either search a Retribution or I can search for another extender for next turn, like another Evil Eyes Unleashed. But I end up going for Retribution. I special summon this. Kind of sucks here because I do walk into Nibiru. Honestly, I do play in the extra deck. I do play Bamboozling to avoid Nibiru because Bamboozling will be my 5th summon. I just always think that they're not gonna have it, if you want me to be honest. And I always somehow manage to not be able to play around it. So here he's gonna Nibiru. I just quick effect pop, just to kind of get it off board, and the token is like, whatever. Again, don't really care too much. My opponent makes a mistake here, and he books of Eclipse because he thinks the token can go face down. Tokens cannot exist face down, almost like Link monsters. They don't exist face down. He ends up going Rise Heart. I let it go through. I'm sitting on Impermanence, but he can't really do anything. And guess what? I open with Cerzio. So I just go and I go off and pop off essentially. So keep that in mind, guys. You cannot book Eclipse tokens. They do not exist face down. And here I essentially just keep doing the same combo. I get my other source of interruption, which is Defeat. It's a double compulse. And since all my monsters are getting sent to the graveyard because they're detached and not getting banished, I can constantly reuse those extenders since I control an Evil Eye monster. So yeah, here I go for Cicada King. This card is really underrated, I think. Essentially, when a monster on the field activates its effect, I can detach one material from this card, target that monster, and negate its effects, and then make one insect on the field either gain 500 defense or change its battle position. So it can go up to 35 defense. So it's just a really nice, beater. And yeah, my opponent really doesn't have anything. I essentially just win the game here. I guess he's playing for Column, but even then, whatever, I don't really care. I Retribution, make my monster bigger, and just go for game. So that is it for the cash. And the last replay I want to show is actually against Evil Twin. Just wanted to show and display the deck. So here, I obviously go second. This is why I like running at least 2 evenly. I think the card is way too good to not run. My opponent opens up very strong. He basically opens up full combo. I do open up an Imperm. So yeah, let's just wait how this plays out. I Imperm this. I don't know if this is correct. I actually haven't played against Evil Twins or Live Twins in a very fat minute. So I don't know if that was a correct target to Imperm. Regardless, I don't very much care. As you guys can tell there, he's actually maining Cosmic Cyclone game 1. That totally hurts me because he can just hit Aya Selene, and I'm in a very sad place at that point, banishing Selene. But it's not the worst thing in the world, honestly. And like I said, he's just kind of popping off. I don't really care. I'm kind of looking. I'm chilling. Whatever. Battle phase, end of battle phase, evenly matched. He banishes his cards. Okay, obviously I expected this. I set up my grave to get my starter because I can just dump Catapoplast into the graveyard with Gorgoneo, and yeah, like that's fine. I don't really care. I keep Isolene in my hand. Gorgoneo essentially banishes to get my starter. Starter gets Cerzio, and you guys just already know the same old song and dance from. So from all that, I still get my starter. I get Retribution just in case he's maining some evenly match or something that I don't like. He quick effects, to tag out. He ends up sending this to the graveyard. I quick effect pop Cerzio because I do still have it equipped. And then Basilisk just sends a useless Evil Eye spell. I was going to go for a level 3 extender anyways. He had Nibiru. I guess he could have Nibiru'd actually, but honestly, it wouldn't have mattered too much. And yeah, guys, that's essentially the deck. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the replays. If you guys have any questions or any type of combo lines that you guys are curious about as to what I do, also just a side note, don't be like me and always fifth summon Deus Machinex. If you suspect, or be smart, this format, Nibiru is getting mained a lot. So yeah, just go on the safe, like bamboozling. It's just a free level 3 free draw. So yeah, guys. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy. Please like, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.